To start, let's begin by lengthening our spine upwards, drawing our head a little bit back, tucking our chin a little bit, lowering the gaze of our eyes, softening the gaze of our eyes, taking in a little bit more breath, taking a little bit deeper breath in, a little bit longer breath out. Just do that for a few breaths, taking a little bit deeper breath in, a little bit longer breath out. We think we are still. We think we're still, unless we're moving. Even when we are still, we're moving. Though we think we're not. So this meditation is for us to connect with the speed of the universe. And one of the biggest blockages for us is our own mind. Our mind tells us we believe what our mind is experiencing as the truth. And so if we see ourselves sitting still, we think that we are not moving. But is it true? In reality, we are spinning. We are constantly spinning like a top. Consider ourselves embedded in the earth, almost like the earth is a car, a vehicle on which we're riding or in which we're riding. In fact, from a Buddhist perspective, we are earth. And the earth is spinning so fast that scientists have said, within about 5 seconds, we can move. We're going from the distance from the East Coast to the West Coast. Take a moment to count to 5. We've just moved a great distance, all the way across the country, in fact. That's how far we've moved. The earth is spinning. How can we not be? The earth spins around its axis. Can you feel the center of the earth? Let's bring our attention down into the ground. So put your mind into the earth, right at the center, where there's magma, hot, boiling liquid, churning, sometimes erupting through the crust of the earth. Let's put our minds down there in the center of the earth, on its axis. Feel that spin. If you need to close your eyes or to look away, feel free to do that. The moon is turning is spinning around the earth. So there's an internal spin of which we're a part on the earth. And outside of us, there is a body, which we call the moon, spinning. We're surrounded by spinning, embedded in spinning. Take a moment to imagine the moon. Get a sense of the sky, wherever you happen to be. Get a sense of the sky. And see if you can feel out where the moon is, whether it's in the sky at present or not, is it irrelevant, but it's somewhere around this body of earth. Can you feel it? Also turning around. Like a wheel, a Dharma wheel. On a very small level too, there's spinning. Let's take a moment to look inside of our individual bodies and see we are comprised of protons and neutrons, electrons turning. That's what we're doing right now. Every molecule in our body, every cell is comprised of these atoms. Let's take a moment to look really close within ourselves, just maybe perhaps closing our eyes. That spinning is going on inside of this body, whether we're alive or dead. Take a moment to feel any part of your body, maybe even placing one hand on your abdomen, and feel the sensation there. That sensation is the result of these atoms pressing together in our hand, in our abdomen. And the earth and the moon itself are spinning around the sun as a couple, almost like a married couple. The earth and the moon are together, going around the center of the solar system. Get a feel for that. So you can get a sense of riding in the earth, taking a ride how many millions of miles away from the sun, going around it in a circle, in an elliptical manner. Get a feel for that movement of the earth, moving not just around its axis now, but circling around the sun. And it's not just the earth and the moon, but other bodies. Venus, Neptune, Pluto, the moons of Saturn, turning around the sun. We're going together. kind of like brothers and sisters. It's not just the solar system, bodies going around the sun, but the sun itself is part of something larger. The sun is not stationary, it's also turning. It's turning around the center of the Milky Way galaxy. See if you can get a feel for being the solar system. Just as when we put our minds into the center of the earth, becoming the earth, let's now become the solar system and get a sense of ourselves spinning around the Milky Way galaxy. We're about 2/3 out from the center of the Milky Way. You can get a sense of being the solar system, spinning around the Milky Way, itself comprised of millions of stars, billions of stars, like brothers, like aunts, like uncles, cousins, joining us in this spin. We're not alone. The Milky Way itself is also not stationary. Itself is also turning. It has its own rotation and movement. So bring our physical bodies into the body of the Milky Way, comprised of billions of stars. That's us, also turning. The Milky Way is turning around something else. Itself, along with other galaxies, are turning around an orbit. See if you can get a feel for being the galaxy, also itself turning. Grandparents, great-grandparents, these galaxies that join us. Enlightening beings instantly attain 100 concentrations and see 100 Buddhas and acknowledge their power. They stir 100 worlds, go to 100 lands, illumine 100 worlds, mature 100 beings, live for 100 eons, penetrate 100 eons past and future. Let's come back to the ground. Seeing ourselves now as a mountain, solid. The will immovable as a mountain. Let's come back to stillness, being immovable like a mountain range. Joyful and happy, serene, resolute and forceful, with a buoyant mind. Non-violent, harmless, free from anger, modest, respectful, honest, self-controlled, joyful and happy, serene, resolute, buoyancy of mind, see if we can take on these qualities, non-violent, free from anger, modest, respectful, honest. Self-controlled. These are qualities that you possess. One remembers the immeasurable knowledge that saves the world and becomes joyful in anticipation of that state. Let's take the next few minutes to just sit in silence with that. One remembers the immeasurable knowledge that saves the world and becomes joyful in anticipation of that state.